Hello everyone and welcome to another Boater Unboxes something. I have got a collection of items here that I have selected to do the first round of customization with Archangel. I've got 3 different things from 3 different sources, and we will just kind of take these one at a time. The first of these is from Electroplate, and you may remember that from way back in the day, the Gordmobile had chrome lettering on the back denoting its name, the Gordmobile. And when I got Faith, it was only natural that I went and got something similar, but I got those in black to kind of match the color that I would be going for. Now, eventually the tattoos were added, but Faith's name in black is something that I had from the very start. And so it's natural that I wanted to do something for Archangel's name. And for those, I also got a whole bunch of little individual letters. They are in the same kind of italic style, but they are in a kind of gold finish right here. And I'm pretty psyched for this. I think I know exactly where I want to put these on the vehicle. You can get letters like this pretty much anywhere, especially in chrome and black, but again, Electroplate was the only place that I could see to get all of these in gold. So considering the color scheme of Archangel, it's mostly blue and black, but the symbol that is on Garrus's shoulder is kind of in that yellowy gold. I'm excited to see how this gold looks on the back trunk lid of the car. I think this is fewer letters than Gordmobile. Archangel, 9 letters. Gordmobile was 10, but I's take up very little space, where something like the N and the R are all kind of large. That is a very Lexus L. Okay, that'll also continue to confuse people, because if people thought Faith on the back of Faith was religious, this is just kind of doubling down on the misdirection. Individual chrome letters. Application instructions. Clean the area that you want to be applying the chrome letters or numbers. Apply paint safe or masking tape to make a straight line. Remove the paper covering from the adhesive tape and carefully position the letters. One thing that I did with the other 2 cars was that I just used an I as a spacer, just as the spacing between letters. I don't know what I'm going to use as a spacer here, because I actually don't have an I, and I'm not ready to yank it off of Faith yet. But I will figure that out tomorrow. Next, so that is naming the car. Next, I want to make it kind of mine. Now, I said that gold is kind of the thing. At the same time, there's nothing cool about the Chevy bow tie in gold there. It's just kind of, it's a thing. It's everywhere. And so that should be what this is. This is just from a parts center online, a GM parts center, I think from a dealer or something. No place in particular for this. But these are replacement emblems for the car. Oh, it's a bag. So this one right here that will go on the front, like that. Trying to figure out which way is I set up. Probably like that. So yeah, so like that. That looks really nice. Like, I saw some things that are like, oh yeah, you could just use like this black vinyl cutout to go over it. I'm like, no, we'll do this straight from the source. And number 2 for the back trunk lid. Oh, that one has an arrow for this side up. So this one is actually like a tape thing. Taking off the other one, I think, is just removing the tape. The front one has clips that we're going to have to pull out. So that will be a thing. But there we go. Front and back black bow ties. There's not a whole lot of black on the car. There are some black trim pieces near the front, near the doors, and the back trunk lid has that black trim piece on it. So I think this, kind of going for more of the blue, and black. That's not going to stand, so I'm just going to kind of set that like that. I don't even know if that one's in shot. I don't know if these are in shot. I don't have a selfie kit. I like using the anamorphic lens. Will I stop using it? Maybe, sometime. But on my phone, I don't really have a selfie lens. The last thing that I got for the first wave of customization, the last of the first, for Archangel, comes from Red Nebula Studios on Etsy. And of course, I mentioned the gold of the Archangel symbol on Garrus's shoulder. But how about the bag? How about the bag? How about the symbol itself? So this, actually, you can't really see it super well there, but it, I don't know if you kind of, if I look through like that. Yeah, that maybe looks good with some light behind it too. So it is 3 separate pieces, but I take off one piece, apply it all to the car, and then take off the top piece. And I actually got 3 of these because I'm not 100% positive where they're going. One is going to go on the back trunk lid. The big one will go on the back trunk lid, I think off to the side, like how Faith and the Gordonmobile had their names off to the side. I think the Archangel name will be centered along the bottom, but we'll see. And then the side ones, I'm thinking underneath the side mirrors, or like right on the forward corner of the front doors. So they kind of give that shoulder patch kind of idea. And again, like I said, I got 3 in total. The one big one for the back trunk lid and the 2 small ones for the sides. Here, Garrus, hold that for me. And we have directions with them, so let me read one of the direction sets out of the big bag here. And business card, awesome. 3 items, that's the invoice. Final decal application instructions. Choose a flat, smooth surface where you'd like to apply your decal, such as a car window, the back of a laptop, or other similar location. Clean the surface with rubbing alcohol or soap and water. Please avoid using cleaning products like Windex, which might leave a residue and prevent the vinyl from sticking properly. Gently peel the white backing off the vinyl decal. The decal will remain adhered to the transfer paper, the side that looks and feels like a wide piece of masking tape. Said, for best results, allow 24 hours before you remove the transfer paper. Ooh. I don't know about that. Slowly peel the transfer paper off. Start from the top and peel downward to keep the transfer paper from pulling at the decal. The vinyl will adhere to the surface. If any corners lift up, press the transfer paper back onto that spot firmly and try again. Note the vinyl is semi-permanent and safe to use outdoors. With proper care, it should last several years. If possible, avoid positioning your decal under the path of a windshield wiper, as the wiper may damage the decal or vice versa. Should not be used on interior house walls as they are not easily removed. For best result, avoid applying your decal in extremely hot or cold weather. Well, it's extremely cold weather, but because it wants us to have that resting there, I think we are going to head out to the garage and do this. Like now. So I've cleaned off the back trunk lid of the car just using water. I've scraped off about a week of road salt. And it got a little weird because as I went to dry it off, I realized that the water was icing up before I could dry it off. So we've seen some of that over here. But we are going to mount the letters first. They're going to be across the back trunk lid underneath. And finally, I got a solid piece of tape. I'll just put those right there. That's fine. I have a level that has a little magnet on the bottom, but this is not a ferrous surface. So we'll do this and just kind of hope for the best. What I'm going to do is just kind of, I think, like I'm trying to think of the height of the letters, but I think I'm going to have them, so there's a little bit of a lip right here. I think we're going to have them sitting just above that lip. So we're going to do this. And is that level? Is that even a straight line or does it curve a little bit? Okay, that is a straight line. That is mostly level. Higher. Yeah, okay, that makes sense because that is a little bit of a distance above that lip thingy. That's not right at all. Interesting, it rises in the middle. Are you a straight line? You are a straight line and you are level. Okay, cool. Next, we get the letters out. So these all have an adhesive backing as well with some paper that is just kind of down there. But if I can like get it to just kind of, before I take off the paper, if I can get it to like stick in place and go across, that's going to give me a really good sense of like size and spacing and centering and stuff like that. Already I can tell I'm off center. Stay, damn you. Oh, there's my imprint of the H. Now what I should have done maybe was lay down all the letters on some sort of surface ahead of time, measure them out and figure out what the center point was, and then once I lay that down I can figure it out from there. So I can center the A and kind of cheat like that. N-G-E-L-A-R-C-H. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's get our A down and stuck to it, then we'll figure out the spacing to either side. So we're going to center with the bow tie here. The volt seems slightly off center, but it needs room for that lightning bolt bit over there. So, okay. I breathed on it to fog it up. I now see that that was actually a poor idea. Oh, come on. Okay. A is down. Now let's figure out spacing. I actually kind of, it went up my sleeve. That one hit the dirt, that's fine. The backings are all on. I actually think I will kind of like this wider spacing. Let's see here, that's going to be the C right there. R. Come on. A, R, C. Yeah. So we're going to do that. Most of these letters come all the way to the bottom, if not all of them, on both sides. A, R, C. The C is going to be a little different, but not too bad. And G, E, L. Yes, all of them come down on both sides. So should be really easy to just kind of mark that off and use that. I really hope that I don't misspell this going backwards. That would be embarrassing. And also I would need to reorder, which would be just weird. A-R-C-H-A. Okay, so C, you're next. Oh, you came off nice and easily. Okay, oh, nope, not yet. Boy, the paint on this car looks really pretty from like 6 inches away. Cha! I'll get the R down and we'll actually just be a couple letters away from Vorcha, which I'd totally forgotten were a thing, and then I went and played Mass Effect 2 again, and I'm like, oh, right. Oh, no, you can get my fingers out of there too. I don't need to keep my fingers stuck to the things. The letters, that's what they're called. Oh, I don't know about this. The other thing about using a spacer character last time with the I was that it would guarantee that all the letters would be rotated correctly, aligned with each other. And I don't have that. I'm just kind of freehanding it. This may not come out great. Come on. That C is definitely crooked. That C is also definitely super stuck. Okay, well, we'll see how it looks when our baseline comes off. Next, the N, which I've also, been tearing them open with my teeth. They have an opening at the bottom. I also think this might be a little bit too much spacing in here between the R and the C. Worst comes to worst. we rebuy the letters and do it again. This cost me about $26 for these, so it wasn't bad at all. Oh yeah, I didn't go over cost. $26 for these. The vinyl stickers were somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 or $5 each, depending on size. The blackout Chevy emblems being OEM and from GM and all. Well, I got them for less than their sticker price of $115, and I will leave that there. Oh, that's close. Oh well. It's not so bad. 2 letters to go. I think one of Faith's letters were slightly crooked as well. Same with the Gordmobile. The thing is, once this is off of here, unless it's really bad, which I am not discounting, unless it's really bad, then you really don't notice. So like, if the kerning is a bit too much between the R and the C, I take those 2 off and I rebuy the A and the R. They're $2.50 a pop. That looks like it sits a little bit higher than the G. Again, any individual, like if for the most part it looks good, but an individual letter looks off, I can replace the individual letter, no problem. Oh look, I just ripped that open again. I probably did that with the E as well, come to think of it. Last letter, this very Lexus looking L. There are different styles of these as well that you can get, but I've always just gone with italic, whether it be the chrome black or now gold italics. But getting chrome letters like this is a nice little way to name your vehicle. You can also do it with custom plates. A friend of mine has Red 5 in Ontario. That's really cool. And I know you're watching this. And may have already gone down to the comments to say something, and now I've resumed, and now I'm calling you out. Come on. And about there. Make sure we line up the bottom. There. Okay. Now we take this off. Step back. I kind of like it, but I kind of think I would want it even more spaced. Or just up in the corner over here. It's not bad for now. I think I'm going to change it. We'll see. That might grow on me like that. That looks a little tramp stampy, now that I think of it, with it centered. Yeah, I think Archangel is going to go up here. But what's going over here is one of the decals. So I'm going to go grab that, BRB. Okay, since it's not centered, all I need to do is just kind of visually align it. So I think I'm not going to worry about the level. I think I'm going to align the top with this body line right here. So let's pull off the transfer paper. Good, that all comes off properly. And this is just going to go right up here, making sure that I align the vinyl and not the slightly crookedly cut transfer paper. Pull that out a little bit. It says not to apply in cold temperatures, but I don't want to wait until April to do this. Again, if I need to reorder, I will. These were cheap. I don't expect that I will need to, though. Okay, next, this. And this, I'm definitely not sure about. So this is just very similar to these. This is just stuck on here. But I think I'm gonna pause recording on my phone and double check how best to get that off. Okay, so it says to use a heat gun to heat this up, and then a plastic trim removal tool to pry it off. It also says that you should ideally be around like 70 degrees Fahrenheit when you do that. None of these are happening. The closest I have to a trim removal tool is a Lego pry bar. This probably isn't going to work. and my phone battery is about to die. So, oh, actually that feels, I don't really have enough leverage to get that under there like that, but that's interesting. So I'm going to keep messing around with this. My phone battery is actually dying because I took so long installing this. So I'm going to turn off the camera and come back when it's time to plop the new emblem on. All right, so I got the Chevy emblem taking off totally with a plastic trim piece and not the flathead screwdriver sitting on the top of the deck lid. So that came off. Now I just kind of need to roll all of this adhesive off of here and then just kind of take some rubbing alcohol and wipe it down, just make sure it's clean. Maybe not like douse it with it, but just enough to make sure that it's a clean surface for the new one to bond to, especially because we're not doing this at the ideal temperature. I saw something that said like 70 Fahrenheit, and it's well, cold enough for water to freeze onto the deck lid when I tried to clean stuff off. So I'd say that's not 70 Fahrenheit, and that's all that you glorious Celsius users need to know. They still, like, there's a little bit around the edge, but as long as it doesn't come up, I can stay there and the new one can kind of plop on top of that, I think. I'll get it as cleaned off as I can. I'm gonna be picking at this for a little while. Okay, so we have removed the bow tie. There's a little bit of adhesive right around the edges, but everything in the middle is out. And again, when we place it on there, I think that's gonna be just fine. But it definitely, I can feel that there's some stuff that got in there. I can see, so this is plastic right here. This is like a plastic guide to where the actual metal plastic bow tie itself goes onto. So that's plastic. It's fine that I kind of went in there with the screwdriver. You can see a couple marks here from when that went in, but that's fine. So I have rubbing alcohol because it will not freeze to the surface like the water did. I'm not soaking my paper towel in it because I don't want it to like come down here and do anything with that. But no, just kind of giving it a good wipe down with this. Also, the guide said to use a 50-50 mixture of rubbing alcohol and water. So I don't know if pure would actually damage the paint down here, but since this is trim up here, and obviously that's that. Really quick before we apply it, a before and after. Here's the before. Oop, get my hand out of the way. That's before. And that's after. That's going to look so good. So let's get that on there. Arrow's pointing up. Arrow goes on that side. Good. Aside from this, like there are no holes that this is going to go into for a guide. This is sticky old foam right here. And there are people who are like properly trained to put this on nice and centered, or at least quickly and centered enough. But my hand is in the way of the light. That's fine. This goes in, centered, centered, very slowly, in we go. We have contact. We're on. I'd say that looks pretty damn good. That feels about as centered as it was when I started. It's up a little, but left and right it's centered. And when I took the old one off, I realized it was slightly off-center that way. So I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Even though it doesn't necessarily say anything about that. So much that I'm doing today is adhesive based, which is not great to do at, I don't know, 25 degrees and dropping. But there we go, complete with the condensation around the fingerprints. Yeah, buddy. That looks good. Here, let's block that. How does that look? Does that look better without the glare on it? Okay, so that's the trunk lid done. We have the bow tie emblem, we have the Archangel emblem, and we have the tramp stamp. I feel like it was maybe just a little bit like that, or again, up in the corner. We'll see, that may continue to grow on me. Just gotta make the C more upright and center between the R and the H. Anyway, let's move around to the side where we're going to put on one of the shoulder emblems. Okay, so the side decal is going to be much the same as the back. I kind of got to figure out where I want it. It's smaller than the back one, which in retrospect, I'm not sure if I'm 100% about. Like, the first instinct is put it forward of the door, but obviously the charge port is there. The under window thing is interesting, but I think like I would put it here. There's a line right here that just like a body accent line that moves like that. And I think we're going to put it right under that, about an inch out from the front of the door and an inch down from the body accent line. Not quite sure how to level it because this swoops upward. I don't quite want to do that. I think we'll kind of eyeball it. And we'll do the same on the other side as well. I mean, I can measure it. Let's eyeball this one, measure it, and then match it with the other. I don't think you guys necessarily need to see me popping the other one on. So after this, we're going to move around to the front of the car. That's a little more like 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. That's fine. We'll leave that overnight. I'll go hit the other side and then we'll move around to the front. Oh hell. Alright, we come around at last to the front of hell. We come around at last to the front of the car and we're going to replace this front emblem right here. So I opened up the hood, which itself took me how to figure out the latch is like down here and not like back here somewhere. But whatever, that's set. The emblem itself is not an adhesive based thing. It's like the only adhesive we're not dealing with today. So if nothing else, this will install just fine in the cold. But you know, hopefully I don't have to do much with anything else. It is attached with clips. And so we need to get to the clips behind here. And I'm hoping that by taking off this black piece right behind the grill, that we'll be able to get to it. These screws remove with a T15 Torx bit. And I need to be super careful because this screwdriver is not magnetized. I do not want to lose my bit down into the engine compartment. And I was hoping that removing those Torx bits would just have this pop right off. Oh, there's like a plastic pop washer thingy that... Damn it. Why? Why do you everything else is fine, and then you use one of these plastic pop, and then like you can't remove anything from it again. There's a lot more holding this on than just those bits. Damn it, not what we gotta do. Okay, so I think we've made some progress here. I saw something saying, oh yeah, the front one just pries right off. And sure enough, I got my trim removal tool, Lego branded, under here and just kind of gently prying with the totally not a screwdriver, and we're getting some separation. Ooh, there is a lot of stuff caked back there. And there we go. Boom. So there was definitely, I think that there was some adhesive here at the start, but that's fine. That came right off. And now the new shiny should just pop right in. Let's get this threatening stuff away from the front here. This goes like, it aligns really well. It's got posts, it's got the clips, everything's a little bit off center so you can't like put it in upside down. And there we go. I only heard 3 clicks, but I think that we had 2 simultaneous ones out of the 4 clips, and there it is. That is the black OEM. Oh, I gotta redo the screws here. Damn it. The black OEM Chevy bow tie. And with that, that is all of the pieces that I have for round 1 of Archangel. Why do you not latch? I need that phone back so I figure out how to close the hood. So it has been just over 12 hours since installation. The vinyl's recommended 24, but you know, ain't nobody got time for that. As I think I said, I'm off to my parents' place because I promised I would visit as soon as possible, and frankly I'm running a little behind from where I wanted to be. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to charge at their place, but just in case. So I'll get this put away and we'll take a look at how everything seems in the daylight. Take a step back. Archangel actually doesn't look that bad. Still maybe a little bit too much space between the R and the C, but not too bad. And let's have a go at this. Oh yeah, not even close to the same color as the lettering, but oh, I like it. I like it. Let's pull them out and see what the side one looks like. Engine's running because it's cold. For those wondering why you're hearing engine sounds in an electric car, but let's pull this off. This feels a little small looking at it, but also like we don't need big and ostentatious. It's a little odd that it's a lot further spaced down here than here. I think I shouldn't have worried about that body line. Moved it up a little. But it's good for a 1.0, and again, this is something that was cheap and is really easy to do again. Just peel that off and get a new one. I really like it. Yeah, you can see where I cleaned versus where there's road salt. I really like it. Oh God, and those bow ties. Oh, I didn't even think to look at that in back. Ah, haha. Yes, classy. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take a few photos to send to friends, but that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna peel this other one off while we're talking here. And if I make a sound, you know it didn't come out right. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please, by all means, subscribe. You can follow me over at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.com/boaterbug. Support at Patreon and Ko-Fi.com/boaterbug. Yes. That's not bad. And watch live at twitch.tv/boaterbug. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one. I'm off to see my parents, and I'll see you next time. First, I gotta put the camera stuff back away. Cut!